Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this, this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each with a return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video, we're going to be looking at MMTLP news from Next Bridge with regard to the Orogrande assets. The lease from the university lands has not been renewed. So this is bad news. We're going to be looking at potential reasons for this. We're going to be asking the question, what could we potentially do going forward, and also looking at your reactions and your questions. Then I'm going to be looking at the university lands website, looking at the people behind the decision, and also asking the question who could now benefit from this and who could also take over the lease. So we're also going to be looking at ticker symbol ALTM. This was also covered in the previous video. There has been again some more positive news, so congratulations to everybody who got into ALTM from the Discord and also from the previous video. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So first headline here from CNBC, we can see that the Dow Jones is up 400 points, the S&P is 500. It's also rising to a record as the market is shaking off October. Remember, September was also a good month for the market from investing.com. We can also see here that Goldman Sachs are now slashing the US recession odds from 20% to 15%. So this is good news. So less likely to now get a recession. So remember, anytime today we'll be getting news with regard to inflation, so hopefully that's positive. And finally, the heat map here, we can see most of the stocks are in green, including tech, energy and consumer cyclical. However, Google is the one that is standout in red. There is news of an investigation there, but I certainly think from my point of view, I think Google could also be on discount because it will certainly rebound. So I'd like to start by sharing the news with regard to ALTM. This was also covered in the previous video, so go ahead and check that one out, where we also looked at the writ of mandamus. And in terms of news shared in the Discord live today is that Arcadium Lithium, ticker symbol ALTM, is up over 30% today after agreeing a $5.85 per share takeover by Rio Tinto. So again, in our new live trading and alert section in the Discord, this news was also broken live. So again, that will help your investment decision when you're getting the news straight away. And this was also a stock that was on our weekly watch list. So in terms of the chart yesterday, we could see here it was trading around about $4.19 and up 47% on the previous 5 days. And right now at time of editing, it's gone up 99% over the previous 5 days, currently trading around about $5.54. And finally, something which I think is quite interesting, a post from Quiver Quantitative stated here a while ago that Senator Thomas Carper loaded up on lithium stocks, and in particular ALMT. He's the only member of Congress who has ever traded this stock. So the question is, did Thomas know, or is Thomas just a good trader? Let's have a look at the news from Next Bridge, and what they posted yesterday is that the Next Bridge Hydrocarbons announced a Texas University land system decision. So I did post about this, and I summarized what they stated here by saying that the company are saying basically they are disappointed to announce that the university land's decision not to extend the subsidiary development unit agreement for the Orogrande asset, and this will expire on December the 31st, 2024. The university has also sought to terminate the development unit agreement effectively. So again, there are no reasons for this, so we're going to be looking at that into that deeper as well. So the quote from Greg is basically, he stated, "We are both dismayed and puzzled by the decision despite having put forth what we believe to be a strong and fair proposal." So it looks like they did give their proposals, but these were not accepted by the university lands. So he goes on to also say, "Whilst disappointed, I would like to assure the loyal shareholders, that is all of us, including myself, that we as a company will continue to boldly move forward And we have moved these last few months to expand and diversify Next Bridge Hydrocarbons. Our company portfolio goes beyond the Orogrande asset, so that's some reassurance from him. He also looks forward to providing updates in the weeks and months to come in terms of the process and new direction. So again, that's quite significant. So as far as I'm concerned, what I've stated is this is certainly not good news. I would like the university to clarify reasons why they have not obviously allowed the lease to be renewed. We're going to be looking at that as well. And Greg has stated that the fight goes beyond what has just happened, and in terms of the 65,000 plus shareholders, we will also continue in terms of resolution. So the company also released a Form 8K to confirm this, so we can see that here. And again, this is signed by Greg McCabe and with the press release dated 8th of October 2024. Let's now try and find out a little bit more about the university lands, and on their website we can see in terms of about university lands, they are a fiduciary steward of 2.1 million acres of land across 19 counties in West Texas, and they manage both the surface and mineral interests in the benefit of the Permian University Fund PUF. They also state here they strive to be the best land management organisation in the country, but I'm not really too sure about that. So I'm going to call out the board. This is the board, and as far as I'm concerned, Dawn, David, Christina and Nolan, you have certainly not acted in the best interest of Next Bridge Hydrocarbons. You've not acted in the best interest of the MMTLP community. You are the board for the lease of university lands, and I would like you also to justify your decision and what the reason for that was. So in terms of the section on oil and gas, they state here they lease the acreage to companies for oil and gas development and retain a loyalty interest in any production. So obviously Next Bridge Hydrocarbons would tick this box. All paperwork and other materials related to leases for oil and gas development can be found under the forms, policies and procedures. So I have had a look at that, and there is nothing really of interest that I've seen. All oil and gas operations on university lands acreage, as well as drilling and completion reporting, should be conducted as outlined in the university lands oil gas lease required reporting and compliance procedures, and all leases are approved by the UT System Board of Regents. So the board is very similar to the FINRA board, and in terms of the section where I believe that the lease may now go ahead and be available for sale, on this page here, lease sales, and it also looks like the bids will be sealed. So eventually I'm sure we will find out who is after these assets, because we all know the assets certainly have significant value. So this is a question I've asked in terms of AI, and the question I've asked is specific to what's happened here, and the question is, are the university lands of Texas obligated to renew oil and gas leases? So first of all, the straight answer here from AI is no. They're not obligated to renew oil and gas leases, so that's not good news. They have broad discretion when it comes to leasing decisions for oil, gas and mineral rights. So obviously it's totally that board that have made this decision. So these are the reasons why. First of all, they have discretionary leasing. They evaluate new and expiring leases based on market conditions. They also look at legal stipulations, environmental concerns, and also the financial interests of the University of Texas. So did they actually look at the financial interest of themselves? Because that's one of the reasons here. And then they also states here they are under no obligation to renew the leases just because they are set to expire. So it looks like that is exactly what they have done. And the second answer here is lease terms and expiration. Oil and gas leases on university lands typically have set terms 5 years, and then after that they expire unless production is maintained. So Next Bridge Hydrocarbons can confirm if the production was maintained, and as far as I'm concerned, all the drills and the oils in the wells and the drilling complied with that. However, if it didn't, then we would need an answer of that. So the expiration of a lease does not automatically trigger a renewal process. The lease expires without active production. The land is then released back to the university to manage as they see fit. So I don't think the reason was number two. I think the reason was number one, discretionary leasing, i.e. the board change their minds. And I'm going to finish off by sharing some of your questions and reactions to this news. So first of all, from Clark, he stated he's read the agreement a few years ago. NextBridge had an option to extend the current lease after 2024 before even renewing. So again, I'd like NextBridge to come forward and clarify this from Clark. And so he also goes on to say, so now if they cannot use the lease extension, then obviously it looks like it's a termination. And then if we have a look at what John has stated here, he says we fight back, we make sure that NextBridge goes bankrupt, file against the SEC for tortious interference with the 40 million share S1. I'm not sure about this make NextBridge hydrocarbons bankrupt. Don't think that's a good idea, but the value of those shares has dropped significantly. If they had approved in 3 to 6 months, then the company would have been in a better position, but obviously we've not had that S1 approval, so I think that's a good point there. And the ordinary angler has stated it will be on public record, so it'll be interesting to see what entity acquires that lease. So I think we've just seen in terms of the bidding process that will be sealed, but eventually we will find out. What Josephine has stated is maybe again, then this is tagging in NextBridge hydrocarbons, maybe if you ask your lawyers, keep telling you use the strategy, don't say anything. I think this is in reference to NextBridge hydrocarbons being extremely quiet and not communicating very well with the shareholders. This has to change, so I agree with this post. And don't say anything, sit tight watching your $80 million investment being jeopardized. It's time to fire their ass. So do not listen to these lawyers who are saying use the term no comment. The investors and the MMTLP community need communication, we need comments, and we need answers. And what TISWAS23 has stated is, unless we're not aware of the contractual obligation not met, it seems to me that the option to renew was a binding agreement, as it's highly likely NextBridge will at minimum seek an injunction to stop the university lands from negotiating with other parties. So I think from what we've just seen, I don't think they can stop that if the lease has expired. But let's have a look at the image shared from that post, and at the bottom it does say from the image, it states here, as of December the 31st 2023 and at June the 30th 2024, the drilling requirements have been met and leases covering approximately 134,000 acres remain in effect. But I think the key problem is the lease was expiring 31st of December 2024, so it looks like that's the key reason why the university lands have not renewed it. Don't think it's because of breaches by NextBridge hydrocarbons. I think it's more because the lease was up and they have decided not to renew it, but they have not given a reason. What Kestrel has stated is, time to name names. Who approached you to buy many multiples of the 2.6 million short shares FINRA claims exist? And I think we can also probably ask NextBridge hydrocarbons to also name these hedge funds or market makers, etc., who approach them to buy the shares. So let's have those names. So again, good post there. And then if we have a look at from Lillian has stated, the whole lease being lost stinks of Congress's and Pete Sessions work, and that's fine. I bought an oversold ticket and it's still oversold. You may have taken the assets away, but you still owe me my shares of NextBridge hydrocarbons or cash. We still need to finish the trade and it is not over. So again, I also agree, and I think that is true as well. Q Entertainment has stated, never wanted NextBridge and wanted to sell my position on the 9th and the 12th. FINRA is criminal, and I think many people are in the same position as QN, and many of them would not have wanted to hold for NextBridge, although many would have as well. What Mike has stated is, hedge funds got to the university lands and this is disgusting, and I would like the university lands to obviously clarify, but I don't think they're going to. What Trevor has stated is that yesterday was bigger than the halt. I'm not sure about that. I think the halt was bigger from my point of view, because a 2 days loss of trading would have given everybody an exit if they wanted. So I'm not sure I agree with that first sentence, but it states saying you were halted on December the 8th 2022, but that what you had was frozen. Yesterday you were robbed for real. They removed the value from your asset you own. Some people bought into this specifically for that value point. So I think right now my take on this is what the University of Lands have done. I don't think they have broken any laws, and I think what FINRA had done is they've broken their own rules. So I think the FINRA decision is much worse in my opinion. What Tuo stated is, I told people the hedge funds will get to the university lands and screw us, get your heads out of Next Bridge, fix this. People have done much while you sat there with your hands up your backside. And finally, final post I'm going to share is from the free market Asail, and he stated here, they bankrupted Meta Materials, they delayed the 40 million share offering, they are going after the 2 CEOs, they're refusing to show the share count, they are taking the assets away from Next Bridge Hydrocarbons, potentially hundreds of billions of dollars. Big money refuses to pay for their crimes. This is much bigger than we think, and I think I'll add on, they have refused also to approve the S1. So finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.